Hey everyone, welcome to Chronos Before the Ashes. That Before the Ashes refers to the fact that it's apparently a prequel to Remnant from the Ashes, which I covered with Bird and co-op. Didn't totally love it, but that was like, it was a looter shooter. Although it was a Soulslike looter shooter, so it was like real mixed feelings. Like in some levels it was like, this is my favorite one of this kind. But this is their more Dark Soulsy prequel in that it is actually a third-person action game this time around instead of a first-person shooter. Let's find that. There we go. That's where it is. There's a lot of settings in here. All right, let's go. Oh, character customization, or character choosing might be more accurate. You pick one of these two characters. Does the game look weirdly low res all of a sudden? Why is it so pixelated? 1920 by 1080. Are we okay? Maybe it's just the screen for some reason. So a dude and a lady. You got a sword and an axe. Sword is an agility-based weapon. If you prefer to strike quick and dodge, pick this weapon. Axe is a strength-based weapon. If you'd rather stand your ground and block incoming attacks, okay, I definitely reflexively dodge more than I heavy attack. A balanced difficulty, the purest form of the game, heroic, and then casual. I just like story and puzzles. They say this is the purest form of the game. I'm just gonna take them for that as being legit and just believe them there. Why not? I don't. Why am I playing another Souls-like already? I don't know. I'm fresh off of Mortal Shell and Hellpoint finishing, and I'm just kind of on a bit of a roll for my backlog of Souls-likes, and a new one just happens to be coming out this week. This one, and I got an advanced copy, and I'm like, sure, let's just do more. Why not? Hopefully, this one's a little less disappointing than some of these other ones have been. But the endless pursuit of the perfect Souls-like, even if that's a little bit of a contradiction, continues.
Come, sit. Listen all. Listen well. Tonight I speak to you the tale. Tale of the Scouring. Long past, world was different. Towers of metal and stone scraped the sky. People roamed free, never hid, never feared. Thousands of us, tens of thousands, not like our tiny tribes. Then came the beasts, from inside one of the rusted places. Hunted us, drove us into the cracks and crevices. Came the beasts on orders, directed by the will of one. The dragon was him scoured our world, scours it still from where he hides. You're our bravest, young one. Smartest. Best. Once a year, in the darkest of the rusted places, the great stone wakes, opens the way to the other world. When it does, you will go through. You will find the dragon. And you will kill it. Get thrown back out for the deed is done. You might. But you will use that year. Grow stronger. Wiser, till the stone wakes again, and you keep going back. To your last breath, you keep going back. Till the dragon dies. Or you do.
Keep going back till they die or I do. Sounds like a hollowing mechanic almost. Although you couldn't die permanently in hollowing, but is there a threat of dying permanently here? Wasn't it Hellblade that had this looming threat that you could eventually die too many times and just fail the entire playthrough? I don't remember if it was real or an illusion. Alright, so B runs not very fast. It doesn't, at least doesn't feel fast. But this is pretty slow to begin with. And roll. Right bumper is small attack. Right trigger is big heavy attack. LB is block. LT, yep, parry. I'm guessing that X is probably going to be heal once I have it. So very familiar moveset. And very familiarly illuminated cave. I gotcha on that one. I assume clicking right stick locks on and so on. It's funny because specifically when I played Remnant from the Ashes and the intro and so on, the game starts with you as a character with a melee weapon and like in a more familiar Soulsy situation. But then you finish that intro and then you pick up a gun and it turns into a third-person shooter for pretty much the entire game. So I guess this will just be like, hey, what if we just stuck to that intro and that just was the game? But also it controlled like a Soulslike instead of a third-person shooter, because that was also a bit of a thing. Makes me think of the instances there are of prequels and sequels where the genre just changes. It happens, but it doesn't happen too often. But I guess this is THQ, like this company, this developer worked on Darksiders 3, and Darksiders 3 is another company, as another series where there's a prequel that is a different series, a different genre, which I also played with Bird, funnily enough, if we just want to keep drawing strange connections. Darksiders Genesis, instead of being a third-person action game, was a two-player co-op top-down Diablo-style game, like action hack and slash with loot and stuff. Although not equipable loot, but definitely like, well, there was equipable loot, but it wasn't equipment. It was like skill orb things. Not gonna lie, kind of surprised elevators work here. Just because it gives off big apocalypse vibes. How do I jump? Is there a jump? Okay, so you don't run and double tap jump. Does A jump? There might not be a jump. We've got different relationships from game to game. Oh, there's a check. That's the bonfire of this game, is those shards. So you must turn this on. System test failed. Error code 88. Current user set to admin. That's probably not good. For your security, at least. Access denied. But I'm an admin. Emergency lockdown in effect. Huh. So much for that. Interesting to think, though, like, THQ is more of a AA publisher, more so than AAA. And I wonder if all of their IPs are kind of in experimentation mode. Hey, you know that Souls-like shooter franchise you have? What if you made a sequel or prequel that's just Souls-like instead of a shooter Souls-like? Alright. And, that action series we have ongoing, where we have 3 of them, so yeah, make that one a top-down hack and slash. Next up, Mercenaries is going to be re-envisioned as Mario Party. Was Mercenaries THQ? I don't remember. Yeah, this looks a decent amount like the HQ you had in the first game. It's probably the same place. These doors are really big, or I am very young, and I do look pretty young, actually. Holy crap. Yeah, I'm at like... Wait, my face is level with the door. Even if I'm like a teenager, that seems extreme. I don't know. I don't have good perspective on being short, I guess, because I'm 6 feet tall. So maybe that's more common than I'm thinking. System locked. Okay. Age 8. That's she's an adult. She's 18 years old. Yeah, she's not a teenager. She's just either very short or this is a very large door. Age? Trait unlocks at age 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be fighting monsters as an 80-year-old? That seems like a bad idea. Whatever aging mechanic is in this game, I probably don't want it to happen. Is that what you meant by I die? Oh. A small key. Is that what you meant by keep fighting the dragon until it dies or you do? Because it seemed to imply that you can come back and try again when you lose, which is pretty normal for video games, but also there's a specific relationship in Souls games. This is a surprisingly small key. It looks too small to be used to unlock a door. This is a surprisingly sort of slow-paced intro. Oh, does the key go in the computer? There we go. System test failed. I'm an admin again. Loading boot menu. There we go. Mainframe access. Mainframe offline. Reports. January 3rd, 1968. The latest group of candidates seems to be acclimating better than the last. Dr. Harsgaard has recommended we keep them in chairs longer than the allotted 6 hours. He wants to study the long-term effects of exposure on the cerebral cortex. So far, we've gotten very little usable intel from the Dreamers. I'm still convinced that what they are seeing is no more than some elaborate hallucination, despite Harsgaard's claims. File corrupted. April 7th. Construction of the new device is proceeding as planned. Ford and his team were able to solve a few of the remaining issues using intel from one of the Dreamers. I'm prepping a team to use the device. We have finally been calling it the DATLA, Dimensional Aperture Translocation Apparatus. We'll report our findings as soon as the team returns. June 12th. As of today, Ward 17, yep, this is the same place, is in active operation. A new candidate has been selected and placed in the chair. Harsgaard already seems pleased with the readings. He says they are much stronger than anything we have seen thus far. All the other Dreamers are on full 24-hour rotations, meaning at this point, they never leave the chairs. It was the only way to resolve some of the health issues we were experiencing. Harsgaard continues to monitor them. Captain Ford and his team still haven't returned from their trip through the DATLA. The DATLA. I am ordering a halt to all further expeditions until we know what went wrong. Automated report. Emergency lockdown initiated. Base control. Disable lockdown. Does it work? There we go. What have I just let out, though? Threats. Initiate Executive Order 13. Unable to initiate order. Maybe it was bad anyway. Execute Order 66. people that pay attention to the schedule might be thinking, hey, the last game wasn't a classic game, and this one's not a classic game, so what's the deal? But I'm admittedly on a bit of a Souls-like kick, but also I did play 2 classic games at the same time for Halloween, so I feel like playing 2 not classic games in a row is it's fine, it's excusable. But also I run the show, so I can just make up the rules as I go along anyway. Having a time slot dedicated to 2 different categories doesn't necessarily mean that they have to always alternate exactly every time, but that is kind of the plan. Ward 16. This was a very confusing building the last time around. So we're still doing the ward again. I wonder if they're reusing the same location. Like, I mean, like, sorry, asset-wise, I mean, not just, like, lore-wise. Huh, I kind of want to do a side-by-side comparison a little bit. Is this, that looks really familiar. Oh. That could actually explain some of this, right? Wait, is the door open from your perspective? Wait, that's not the same door, though. That leads, that's where I'd go if I got that door open, but it's not the exact same door. It was further down the hallway. Is that an arcade machine? Probably not, no. I'm all paranoid, though, like how many random items could be on the ground. But yeah, that might explain the relatively quick turnaround of them having a whole other game out already. Is if they just make a whole third-person melee game that's based around the same locations and maybe even some of the same enemy character models and so on from the previous game. Maybe like kind of filtered through to a slightly different art style, but you know, just modified, not made from scratch. Hello. Yeah, that one's on. The one from earlier wasn't. Dude, I don't have any inventory items. We'll see how the implementation of the HQ works this time around. Last time, I'm not sure if I loved it. Like, the attempt was made, and I can appreciate that, but it was mostly just kind of annoying, as opposed to being especially compelling. Well, I just got rid of the lockdown, so maybe I go back to the crystal? One of my big things, and I have not looked into this in advance yet, so we'll see. I don't know if this game is procedurally generated or not, or if it just has regular handcrafted levels. I'm hoping the latter. The previous game had procedurally generated levels, but I thought that was silly because if you're only playing the game twice, you don't care if they change every time for replay value. And a lot of people only play game once, or even, I mean, most people don't even beat most games they play. So it's like, it being procedurally generated for replay value was like a thing I didn't especially value, because all it does is make your first playthrough worse by having it not be as interesting and crafted. I'm hoping they don't do that again. Running diagnostic. Uplink failed. Using local pattern buffer. Testing power. Succeeded. Testing Datla. Warning. Code 16. Initiate Datla. System reset user mode. Oop. There we go. Yeah. Testing power succeeded. Well, it's on. That might be my ticket out of here. Whoops, you've got many forms of cancer all at once. You shouldn't touch distressing glowing obelisks. Or for agents to shield it, it might like warp you to some sort of nightmare planet. And then what are you gonna do? Probably starve. Well, no, you'd probably suffocate. Yeah, there's like, if you're on any other planet, there's like 20 reasons you'll die before you starve. That was a bad answer. Why, hello. Yeah, this universe has a lot of masked people. Not masking isn't the right thing to call it, but there's like, I mean, it's kind of a mask, but like a form of fabric that just hangs over the face, and then oftentimes like halfway down your body, usually red, with a symbol on the front. Like a different version of the approach to like Journey. All right, that is a good reminder that holding right trigger gives you a heavier attack. Hey, buddy. I detected a stiffness there between when I attacked. I block and then, oh yeah, it takes a bit to get your attack going. Have you heard the wailing at night? I think the Cyclops grieves more for the loss than the king himself. Woe to us when grief turns to rage. Alright, big question. Is there a setting that lets me make the camera center behind me when I am locked on? Because that's what I would like. Vibration, invert camera, scale terminal text, scale. I'll just try it. I'll just turn it on and see what it looks like when it comes back to a terminal. What is? But I don't know what scale means. That's a little. That could mean all sorts of things. Resolution quality. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay. We'll see about that. Okay, so I don't think you can make the camera center behind you when you're locked onto somebody, which is a choice. I don't know what the point of that is necessarily. Unless they're planning on making me fight large groups. Sometimes that's the reason. This crystal heart courses with lifeblood of a dragon. Press Y when wounded to consume the heart and restore your health. So there's our Estus flask. It starts with 1 charge. I want to get that upgraded as soon as we can. Okay, at least... So the camera is reasonably centered. I had more time to strafe for that guy. It does follow me and keeps him in the back of the screen and me towards the front of the screen. Or the bottom of the screen. Like, I'm towards the bottom. There's just a wiggle room to where I can be exactly. That kind of lets you strafe to the side and see him from the side a little bit. Importantly, I tested the fact that yes, your character does face your enemy. I had a creeping fear that maybe your character would turn away from the enemy and it was only a camera lock on and not necessarily any other kind of lock on. You can block attacks with LB. It depletes stamina. Okay, yeah, normal shield mechanics. I should try doing parries, especially early on in the game here. Ooh, does this work? Oh, I can just open this one. No, there's no message of like, does not open from this side. The king has decreed the temple off limits. Stop all the work immediately, no exceptions. Sorrow. Sorrow, yes, sorrow. Are you about to shoot fire at me? Yes. Oh god. Fuck! Oh god. Okay. That went bad fast. Ooh. We're in a bit of a trend now with projectiles that catch me off guard in games, apparently. In Hellpoint, no. Mortal Shell, there was the fireball guys where their fireballs just traveled strangely fast. And like, oh god, here they come. That's just straight up hit scan. Every time a character dies, they advance in age by 1 year. When young, strength and agility are dominant, but as your character ages, arcane becomes more prominent. When severely advanced in age, strength and agility can no longer be purchased. After your character dies, all dragon hearts in your inventory are fully recharged. So I just got... I'm 19 years old. I am now older. So we'll get the 20 trait very quickly. And that means I can die 6 62 times, and that'll be level 80. And I don't know how much older you can get than 80. I mean, it's pretty hard to do much when you're 80. It looks like my experience stuck around after death, which is probably how you level up, which is surprising. So we might not have souls in this game, and the mechanic of worrying about your previous body and so on. Hang on a second. Is this just here? Dude, I missed this completely. I ignored it like a backdrop, which is a mistake. Let's test whether or not he follows me up ladders. No, he appears to be completely leaving. Okay, so ladders do that. But it does not open from this side, so observing this now was not actually that useful. Okay. He's re-noticed me. Let's try pairing with him. He's a easier enemy and specifically doesn't have a ranged weapon. Nope. There we go. Got him the second time, I think. My health has gone down. Which hit me? There you go. It kind of made a sound effect. It wasn't super prominent, but I heard it. Kind of, I think. So this guy surprised the hell out of me. Oh, not this guy. Next guy. Well, that's a pretty easy parry so far. That's the first enemy. So yeah, when I say surprise projectiles, I thought he was going to shoot a fireball at me out of that thing that has travel time. It's just a hit scan shotgun. Oh god. Definitely have to block that. Can you blow up this train? Nope, he won't shoot actually. There you go. And then he surprised me with his melee combo too. Oh, fuck. Oh, did I just level up? Your character gained a level. Each time you level up, you gain more attribute points, which can be used to upgrade your character. Okay. Dude, that shotgun does damage. I have to be really careful with that. Alright, strength. No amount of speed or dexterity will help you if you cannot properly lift and swing your weapon. As you build your strength, the damage done by armaments, which rely on your sheer power of your muscles, will steadily grow. My weapon depends on dexterity? Agility affinity 1.5. So it scales with my agility, not my damage, not my strength. Is it just a damage stat? Does it affect my stamina or my health? Agility. The use of many weapons relies on speed, finesse, and dexterity, as opposed to simple brute force. The greater your agility becomes, the more damage you can do with such weapons, as your ferocity increases alongside your swiftness. So these are these only damage scaling? It says damage block defense, damage evade defense. So those must also be affected by it, even though it's not mentioned in the description so much. Arcane. Bit by bit, your exposure to the power of the dragon opens your eyes to the secret clockwork of the universe around you. As this knowledge accumulates, you are able to perceive the world in a different light, and wring greater and more powerful effects from the dragon stones. Arcane damage and defense, and then normal defense. So this scales your spellcasting, is what I'd assume. It's called arcane. There's vitality. The hardy nature of your flesh and blood plays a critical role in your journey through the world stone's doorway. Sustaining too much trauma will send you crashing back to Earth, giving you no choice but to use the intervening year to heal. Ah, so you straight up just go away for a year and come back when you're healed. That's impressive. Oh, attribute points 2. Gotcha, there they are. Let's do agility. Oh. Didn't look at the stats correctly. So it made my attack go up by 3. Vitality. 420. 520. There we go. Pretty straightforward. Get your damage scaling up and get your health up. In fact, I might especially put points into health because that's just this genre, really. You have this like renewable healing source in the case of your whatever your Estus Flask stand-in is, but no matter how many of those you have, it's not fucking useful if you die too abruptly without being able to heal. So having a big health pool not only helps nullify or fight against how quickly you die in these games, it also helps ensure that you actually get the full value of your Estus Flask out. Ever since I started stacking Vitality specifically more in Souls-likes, I found the playthrough is just generally more doable. Nothing screws you over more than abrupt death. Death where you could have done more. Ugh! The lock-on went away. Was it the little pole? Ah, shit. Okay. Ah! Alright, it's time to stop relying on parry too much. It's not a infinitely forgiving window. I do have to be careful with it. And missing it is getting me fucked up. No, I need to get more used to dodging, the thing that I claimed I was going to be doing as an agility character. You're giving me big monster closet vibes. Are you just hoping I won't notice you? Is that what you're doing? Ow, really? That dodge didn't work out. The shimmering splinter of stone seems drawn to your weapons. Select a weapon in your inventory and press X to upgrade that weapon. Hello. Takes the damage from 45 to 50. Oh, I need 3. I thought it meant that this would be the first of my 3 upgrades that I can do in that weapon. No, I need 3 shards. Alright. I gotta get... I'm guessing I took damage there because I didn't do the iframes correctly for my dodge. I'm assuming they have iframes and it's not just a physical dodge where you have to completely escape the range of the attack. Just because that's what this subgenre normally is that it has iframes in the dodge. But in Mortal Shell, it was such an incredibly forgiving window that I've gotten maybe a little lazy. So I'll have to be careful about that. Wait. Okay, so holding B consumes my stamina. All of my attacks do not consume stamina. Rolling does not consume stamina. Oh my god. That's really important to learn. So in this game, my attacking and rolling doesn't use stamina. I can just mash away as long as I'm not getting counterattacked, obviously. Oh, that's a departure. That's interesting. So this should be the shortcut we saw earlier. So that means I can skip straight to here in the future. And in fact, I should. The checkpoint's right down here. There's only one enemy between here and this ladder. And apparently I can just run to the ladder instead of fighting him anyway. And I already used up my heal, so I should really use the bonfire stand-in. I don't remember what they're called. Shards? What are you called? World stones. When a character dies, they will spawn... Yep. You can also fast travel to other world stones, but I don't know any other ones yet. So right now it just travels back to the original one. Where's this guy? Oh. Looking at it does not activate it. Do I need to travel to it? That admittedly may be a habit I'm afraid to use because of the loading screen that comes with it. So maybe I won't. traveling does not heal you either. Oh. Okay. Huh. This game's making some choices. I'm confused by some of them. I think I can see why they're doing this. So does traveling make the enemy respawn? Not even traveling does, only dying resets the world state. For a second there I was thinking, oh maybe maybe this is a bad idea to implement this mechanic this way because it encourages your players to jump off a cliff or something and die on purpose in order to reset their heal whenever they have a checkpoint like that. I do. Because like my first instinct was like, okay, I opened a shortcut, let's go heal, and then with my new heal I can then come back here reinvigorated and have my heal back and so on. And I potentially would have done that, but then I remember the fact that every time you die you get older, and it inches you further and further towards what might be a fail state in this game, where you just straight up lose the entire game. And that definitely counteracts that incentive. In fact, having such a punishment might be specifically why they don't allow me to... I do like the fact that this character looks a lot like the character I played in the other game, by the way. There's like similarities. It's like a younger version of the same character. But yeah, with that in mind, if they want every single hit... The way that this is implemented, it functionally makes it so that every time I take any hit at any time in the entire playthrough, I'm taking another step towards the inevitable failure of the entire playthrough, if there is a fail state. At least, or at the very least, aging. And you cannot undo that. Every time you are struck by any attack, you are making permanent progress towards being really old. And you can't undo that by cleverly going back to checkpoints to heal. It's like, no. You have your healing item, it replenishes when you die, and only when you die. What's that? You have low health right now? If you can't find anything to do to fix that, well, you're just gonna have to try really hard not to get hit anymore. Okay. We're definitely having games that sort of try to reinvent this stuff a bit and leave their own mark. Oh, fuck. This enemy's gonna be the bane of my existence. He's just waiting for me to come at him. He snuck up on me with that surprise melee attack. Oh yeah, leveling up it does heal you. So that's one little... That's your one escape. You want to make it to your next level up, hopefully. Interesting. Let's put up a couple more points into healing. Or into vitality. A stat that I like to prioritize. Does my health bar get visibly larger? I don't know. Maybe not. It has not staggered separately from the other two bars, at least so far. That's a little disappointing, because it is nice seeing your health bar, like, just physically get longer and stick out from your stamina bar and so on, and have them all be different lengths. So the first bar is health, second bar is stamina, third bar must be magic, which we haven't been introduced to yet. Oh boy. But yeah, the, being healed by level ups, it definitely is one little, interruption to my kind of cool idea that I was talking about there. A mechanic that would probably be frustrating, but it's cool to think of. Oh, fuck, this guy. Dude, this guy's oh, he's so dangerous. Somebody else is coming, I gotta go. Ooh. Oh, I need to get better at fighting those guys. Oh, that shotgun does damage, but also like their melee is also a bit surprising, because they switch to melee kind of abruptly and like, oh no, I gotta switch to gears to a different kind of fight. And then that melee attack even has a follow-up strike where he like weirdly raises. Oh crap. Yeah, he raises it afterwards, and that's also a melee attack. Ooh, sneaky. I fell for it multiple times. Disappointing lack of breakable objects. Just because it's satisfying to break the pots and boxes and barrels and whatnot in these games. I was getting all arty about the fucking mechanics, and then they contradicted me. They're not entirely true. They're like, every time you take any hit, you're inexorably inching towards your ultimate death, and you can and every mistake cannot be undone. It's like, that's kind of a rad idea. They almost have that, but a little off with the level up healing. The level up healing is definitely gonna be a lifesaver on my end. It's just on the artsy sort of thing, it's a little different. This box is adorned with intricate imagery of dragons. A container of this craftsmanship must contain something of value or power. Wow. Take this as payment for my debts. I have little use for it, and with the king's latest madness, forfeiting all shards to the crown, it has become more of a liability than a boon. These are really brief letters with really big text. I remember when I played the other game, I turned around in the first room and picked up a journal and just read for like 15 minutes straight. Like, there was some real wordy opportunities in that game. Alright, so if I take a single hit, I die. No pressure. Oh, my stamina, big bad. Bad. Is there another guy coming? By the way, I saw someone turn the corner, I thought. Yeah, let's get you in a nice little... Oh, that's a follow-up swing. Fair enough. Dickhead. Shit. That really snuck up on me. I need to be more careful with these movesets. Death comes quickly so far. Every 10 years, starting at age 20, your character unlocks a new trait. The nature of these traits changes as you age, so choose wisely. Oh, you choose them. Choose a new trait. Brute strength. Is it? Okay. Brute strength. The growing might of your muscles packs additional destructive force in your attacks, increasing your weapon damage. Youthful vigor. As your body grows ever more powerful, your endurance and energy steadily builds, increasing your maximum health. Hard-earned wisdom. Painful lessons taught by the mistakes of youth are not lost on you, allowing you to gain more experience on your journey. Ooh, level up faster. Oh. More experience. I should get that one then. That's interesting. Because yeah, your rate of leveling up is not tied to your age, so I can keep leveling up all I want. If I can avoid dying, then the levels ups will keep happening. I don't have to think about like, oh, for the first 20 levels I think about like strength and stamina, but after that I have to worry about my other stuff. It's like, no, that's years, which is completely divorced from age is completely divorced from your level. I am worried a little bit. It is a little scary thinking about the fact that like they're talking about how I'm gonna age, and as I age I'm gonna become like, have I been in that exact room before? I'm gonna get less good at melee and like youthful sort of stats, and I'm gonna get better at mind stats, which might inspire a change in spec and like me specializing in different abilities entirely. But there's also the kind of fear of like, what if I've overinvested in stats that are now useless to me, and the kind of like thing that can come with there. What if I hit a point where I feel like I'm in a doomed playthrough? I don't know. Oh, this only leads to that. This doesn't go anywhere else. I don't know. Leads to some really interesting conundrums potentially. I have like background stresses tied to risk reward stuff, and since this is a blind playthrough, I won't fully understand what I should do differently, or which choice is the right one. So we'll see. Is this the correct direction? Or am I turned around? Oh wait, no, there's a shotgun guy around the corner, right? Yep, this guy. A level up, and isn't this the same room as last time? Just stacking that vitality right now. So it's currently at 600, so I have gained 20% health already. I may want to even out a little bit now and get some more agility as I go before I get in trouble. Given the consequence of death, it might be worth long-term experimenting to get all curious about, like, exactly how good, how effective is running past enemies, which is a common strategy in this genre. Is it just gonna get me in trouble? Aha. Dude, he's very stun lockable if I don't resist. I mean, if I don't hesitate. That's the key, huh? Just be aggressive. If I get the opening attacks and they can't really fight back. These guys, I don't know about this guy. He has a shield. That's the scary thing. There goes all my stamina. Yep, he's got a shield. Ooh, but he stun locks too. I shouldn't be entirely surprised. They're so much smaller than I am. It's not that surprising that if you just find an opening, you can just beat them down. Something's happening in that room. Ah! Changed his mind. Oh yeah, something's happening in there. Oh! You can see where the world hasn't loaded yet. It's just an abyss down there. I assume that if I turn this corner and look down there, it'll be loaded. So they just don't expect me to do that with the camera. Yep, there it is. There's a cave. Do I go there first or towards dude? Is he friend or foe? Does this game have NPCs to meet? I hope it does. Oh, blacksmith. Still don't know if a friend or foe technically. Am I locked onto him? I think I'm locked onto him, but there's no icon to go with it. It seems like maybe you can unlock on to allies? He hasn't attacked me yet, and there's clearly dialogue. I haven't gotten the best look at the other guys. Do they look like this too? The skin with the little, the scaly spots? Or are you something else? Like, could you, because I could almost see him being somebody that has like this helm that indicates that he's enslaved or something.
I am not of your kind, stranger. Dark days these are, not the best of times to wander so far from one's homeland. What brings an outsider to these forsaken halls?
I've come to kill the dragon.
Destroy the dragon? 'Tis a fool's errand, especially in the wake of the woeful encounter between the king and the Cyclops. You may as well throw yourself upon your blade.
Hopefully less than like 60 times. Who is the Cyclops?
Our guardian, or so he was, till the king betrayed him. Now the Cyclops just sits and broods and plots revenge. He cares not for the Krell anymore.
What happened?
Too long a tale to tell. Suffice to say, the Cyclops wanted to marry the king's fairest daughter. But instead, thanks to the king, the daughter died. Now the king has gone mad, hides his face from the world.
Goodbye.
Listen here, pale skin. Those blasphemous priests took my most valuable piece and used it to build a false Cyclops. Sheerest idolatry. But the vile, cursed golem they created is too powerful for me to challenge. Although, if you were to retrieve the golem's eye for me, I would use it to forge a weapon. A weapon I would give to you freely. 'Tis as I feared. You do not have the eye. The task is hopeless.
Okay, we have a goal. Find this guy, kill him, use his resource, his boss soul, to get a new boss weapon. Hopefully one that is really good, because this one doesn't have a lot of oomph to it. Kind of like the midpoint of not being fast or strong, or at least how it feels so far. Is that a Stussy? Are the Stussies just gonna be in every game now? There's so many Stussies in Shadowlands, World of Warcraft Shadowlands. It's like, what's happening? Video games, are we just sneaking them in here and everywhere? Alright, buckle up everybody. Here begins Chronos. I'll see you next time.